少年ジャンプス。
Hello and welcome back to Shonen Chumps, the only anime podcast on the gosh darn internet that features the three of us. As always, I'm Brennan.
I'm Sean.
I'm Dylan.
And if you didn't know what we do here, we watch anime and then we hang out and talk about it. This week, we watched Demon Slayer.
Alright, so as always, you can reach out to us at shonenchumps@gmail.com or tweet at us at shonenchumps, and you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes Podcasts, Google Play, etc., anything but Tidal. Alright guys, so in one sentence, what did you think about Demon Slayer? Dylan?
Okay. I think I liked this, and I think that I don't need to watch My Hero Academia anymore. Period.
Nice. Brennan?
Okay, my sentence is, while I was watching this, it was great. However, in hindsight, I don't really care.
Sweet. Okay, my sentence is actually a note that I took when I was watching episode 7, and that is, when will we learn that an amazing shonen, quote unquote, will always just be another shonen at the end of the day? We truly are chumps.
Damn.
Ouch.
Do we even need to podcast, or should we just wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks. We've been the Shonen.
Suck it, Demon Slayer.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like we're all roughly on the same page, and that it seems like, well, at least Brennan and I think that this was like moderately entertaining, and maybe Sean, maybe you think it was like slightly, but overall it's it's not exceptional. Is that fair?
No, like, it was a good show. There was quality there for sure, and a lot of cool action, like cool animation, cool art style or whatever. It's kind of like what I imagine watching a show on the CW network would be like. It has entertainment value, but overall it's like, why am I doing this? It's just like wasting time until I inevitably crawl towards death, There's no value here. It's not like,
right.
It's not changing my life. It's not making you rethink anime. It's not like, oh my god, is this what shonen is? No, it's just like 7 times worse than Dragon Ball.
Right. It just like holds your attention, I guess. And it's kind of like a turn your brain off show. And like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, because like sometimes you just like maybe need something chill. But yeah, no, that probably pretty much covers what I think about it as well. And like the reason why I specifically mentioned My Hero Academia was because like when we first watched the first season, I thought like, oh, like this would be, I said like this would be my Dragon Ball Z if I was like a kid right now. And I found My Hero Academia like relatively entertaining for the first season, but then I just kind of like slowly didn't care. And to our listeners, you may have noticed that we didn't podcast season 4, so that's partially why. And so yeah, when I was watching this, I was kind of thinking like this kind of checks some similar boxes to My Hero Academia, but I think I like this more. But also, I don't feel that strongly about it. And that's where I am now.
I think that the story of like Deku slowly achieving his dreams and making his mom proud and seeing his friends like rise up beside him is way cooler than just like this guy trying to save his sister who has a muzzle on the entire time.
Yes. I think I agree with that too. But I found that, I don't know, My Hero Academia was just starting to get on my nerves because I found like the plot wasn't really progressing like fast
Right.
enough. And I don't know, it felt a little like too juvenile at times for me, and too like, here's the lesson, like he always does the right thing. And also like Deku is a little too warm and fuzzy for me. And also I hate his, who's that guy that like he grew up with, Kachan? I really truly hate Kachan. Like there's no redeeming factors for Kachan. And like even though they're building toward that redemption, I really, really don't like him. And so
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and so like this was almost like, even if it's like not as deep of a story, I was like, okay, this is. I liked that. I like that we know who the big bad is, like already, but like he has all these.
You mean
kind
Jack
of like,
White?
You mean Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I
Oh,
have both those
God.
names in my notes.
Shit, nailed it. Yeah, but like I don't know. I like that we kind of like know what we're up against, and I don't know. I guess I'm intrigued by that. I kind of think like the demons actually kind of suck for the most part, but I like the big bad guy, and so I'm intrigued
Yeah.
there.
The demons are weird. Why do they all have like different powers from one another? How come in one village the demon's just kidnapping 16-year-old girls and he can just like duplicate himself? I'm like, what? So demons can just duplicate themselves?
Right.
I think it's interesting that they have like different powers in that way, but I do have a lot of qualms with this show. I mean, like I completely agree with what Sean was saying in terms of like how good does shonen have to, like what makes a good shonen show? Like is this just not for us? Is that why we find it like a bit more shallow and stupid? But then like yeah, I also naturally did the My Hero Academia comparison in my head, and like I don't know, man. I think the scenario of this with the whole demon slaying saving his sister thing is like more interesting than like your standard tournament arc, I gotta get better and bring my friends up with me kind of bullshit. And I also didn't like
Yeah.
the fact that they showed the big bad so early, and it's like, oh, it just so happens that like the first ever demon was the one that just so happened to kill your family. Like, come on, man. Like it was that didn't sell me at all, but like there were parts of this show, I feel like primarily in the visuals that like made it feel like it was worth watching because it looked really good. The show looks fantastic, but yeah, there's a lot about the story that I can't really abide.
Anytime he uses a water attack, it's like pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
that looks really
his
good.
attacks and like the fights with the demons get pretty cool here and there, but it's just like there's always the lingering question of why, like what is this building to? Why do I care? And I don't know, like it might be the script, it might be the voice acting, but like I did not find Tanjiro, like the protagonist, to be endearing at all. Like I find Deku genuinely endearing. If we're making a shonen endearment scale of some kind, I just think they lay it on a little thick with this guy. Like he's just way too much of a sweetheart, and it's just like this isn't how normal people are, and it's just kind of weird sometimes.
Wait, I disagree because I think Deku is way more of a sweetheart, way more warm and fuzzy. And so like I got like Deku vibes from Tanjiro, except I found him more bearable.
No, but the thing is though, I feel like everyone around Tanjiro is like singing his praises constantly, being like, "Oh my god, he's such a good guy. Oh my god, the good guy is such a good guy." That like it got annoying. But people don't necessarily do that with Deku. Like sure, Deku's a sweetheart, but the thing is everyone is constantly doubting him and he feels like an underdog. And I mean like the show does a good job.
Is
of making,
everyone doubting him, or is Kachan doubting him?
I mean, good point. But I don't know. It just felt that way in the show, that like everyone is just sort of heaping praise upon this main character constantly, and it just got a little annoying.
Right. I guess there are more there are more outward statements of that. Like, that boy is gonna be the one to kill whatever Jack White guy. But I do want to talk about, like, because you said you didn't like that they revealed the big bad early, but I did, only because, like, I don't know, I feel like in shonen shows it's like this constant build to something, and then you don't know where it's going. And I just liked that we knew who the big bad was, because to me it meant that the show is, I mean, hopefully more finite, and like we know exactly where it's going. And again, to compare it to My Hero Academia, like, I like the whole Nezuko thing, the fact that he has to save his sister, like the fact that Nezuko is with him at all times, it's like a constant reminder of what the stakes are. And so I found that to be, I guess, in like a microcosm, like more compelling. In like the small time narrative, like the short term narrative, I found that to be more compelling than what My Hero Academia, like Deku's short term like storytelling, what his goals are.
Right. But why does she have a muzzle on?
Yo,
when it's like
dude,
confirmed throughout the entire season that like all demons aren't necessarily savages and they don't need muzzles to not feed on humans.
yeah, yo, I wanted to bring that up too. That really bugged me. And also, like, demons can talk, because like I thought initially like demons can't talk, they're just like they're just like ravenous beasts.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't make sense. And when I was thinking about like why does she have a muzzle, it actually reminded me about something that Brennan said about the ancient Magus Bride, and when we were talking about why it exists, and Brennan said like this exists so someone can jerk off to it, and like
Right.
that's how I feel about why Nezuko is in a muzzle. Like, I'm like, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, is this just for, like, ha-has? You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the show's internal logic is that, like, Nezuko has a muzzle on, so humans who see her with Tanjiro don't think she's a threat. Like, she's, like, on a leash, so don't worry, the animal won't kill you, kind of thing.
But that doesn't even make that much sense, because she's always in the box unless it's at night.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily back that design choice, but that is what I understand the reasoning to be. Unless it's something else that it just went over my head, I guess.
Right.
Right. It's definitely somebody's fetish.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like the target audience is the yellow guy in the show, who I refuse to learn the name of.
Oh my god, dude.
Screaming yellow man?
Yeah. So guys, for this show, I didn't really take many notes. And like initially I was planning not to take many notes just because I was like, oh, I'm going to run through this show really quickly. But the first note I took was in episode 11 when Yellow Wimp is introduced. That's what I was calling him, Yellow Wimp Guy, before I started to remember his name.
Nice.
Which is Zenitsu, by the way. Sorry, Sean.
Oh yeah, Zenny.
And so my first note was, I was liking the show, but the first 4 minutes of this episode with the Wimp Demon Slayer crying was excruciating, in all capitals. And guys, I'm not kidding. I did consider turning the show off. Like, at that moment, I was like watching it and I was like, I don't know if I can watch more of this if this guy is going to be in the episode.
I would have persevered.
What?
I would have respected that. I was like watching a podcast last week, and somebody mentioned that they stopped watching My Hero Academia because the guy with balls on his head was like too much. And I'm like, hey, I get it. Makes perfect
sense. I think I know.
Oh,
Yeah, I listened to the same podcast and definitely agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I don't know if it just like didn't translate or something. Like, I felt like kind of lukewarm on Zenny. I knew that the show needed some kind of comic relief, and I think like the way he was like animated and depicted was pretty funny. Like there were times, like I think when you find him, he's like crying on the side of the road and he like tries to marry someone like on a whim or something. I don't exactly remember, but it was weird, and it was like kind of funny, but like the shtick wore off very quickly.
Yeah, like I will say I'm down for him to be a wimp, and I like this whole like subconscious like mode he goes into, and he can actually like fight in that. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
That was an interesting twist.
Yeah, but like the character he is just awful, man. Like, oh, dude.
The thing is, I actually like him when he's not doing that stuff. He might be like the most interesting person for me.
That's what I'm talking about, though. I'm saying when he does that stuff.
Yeah,
when he does that stuff is just awful.
Right, because he actually has like a cool backstory and shit, right?
Yeah, and his backstory is kind of cool.
He's a lot like Gohan at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know when the last time you watched that is, but he's crying nonstop. It's actually the most annoying thing on the planet.
Right, but Gohan's supposed to be like 5 at the beginning or like even younger. So it's
but
chill.
then like Raditz like messes him up, and then he like headbutts him and like kills Raditz almost or whatever. Or whoever he headbutts, I kind of forget.
Yeah, he headbutts Raditz. Yeah.
That makes me think of Yellow Guy. Who's just essentially whining all the time, but then he can like deliver a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, like I think the only time I enjoyed Zenny's whole bag is when like his eyes explode out of his head and he can't stop screaming about how he's gonna die, because I find it a little bit relatable sometimes. It's like, oh, this man is just very anxious.
Right. Yeah. In episode 17, he's about to fight that spider guy, or well, he hasn't started fighting it, but he's like getting scared about getting poisoned and turning into a spider, and like he's like reflecting on why he's just like kind of paralyzed by fear, and he says, and I quote, "I hate myself more than anyone else," and that was like, okay, I like this guy. I like him a little bit.
Dude, that's also the episode we see that he originally had black hair and then he gets electrocuted.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. Anime.
Why do you guys think this show is as popular as it is? I mean, I feel like a lot of our listeners at home are very upset right now.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I mean, I totally see the appeal. And like I think it's like kind of good. So like it makes sense. It is like a decent like shonen show, and like,
it's like
I think it's
like a
better than My Hero
CW show.
Academia.
It's just like it's anime comfort food. It's like stroking your cheek, telling you that it's never going to go away because it's going to have 700 episodes, whether you want it or not.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to go to like a nice fancy restaurant, dude. Sometimes you just want to go get fast food. You know,
right?
Sometimes it hits the spot. That's what I think this is, and like that's cool. That's okay.
And it's very easy to get attached to a really, really stupid story about a brother wanting to save his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as the story, like, it doesn't have hooks for me necessarily, like, I will say that, like, again, like, the show is incredibly polished visually, and, like, they do a very good job of blending 2D and 3D to make like really cool fight scenes, and their backgrounds are also beautifully done, and some of the color palettes are just like bonkers, but yeah, beyond that, it just felt like eye candy. Like it's really like beautiful in that regard, but I can't give it much else.
Sometimes you don't want to have a conversation, bro. You just want to make out. You
know? Even to me, there's a lot of cool things in the show that I'd love if I was younger. Like everybody getting their own personalized katana, and it changes its color based on your personality or whatever.
Yeah, that's
very cool.
Yeah.
That's some lightsaber shit. Like, oh, if I got a lightsaber, what would my color be?
Yeah, dude,
it's
I like
the
that
exact
a lot
same
too.
thing, but a little more edgy. Also, the fact that when I forgot the guy's name, but the guy who rescues Tanjiro like right off the bat from Nezuko, like his mentor
Tomioka?
guy. Yeah, his sword literally says "kill demons" on it.
Yo, that's some thug
like as
shit.
if it couldn't be any more like nail on the head. See, that's the thing. I feel like the show is just very fucking nail on the head. There's no subtlety. Or like, I don't know. If there is, it was lost on me.
Yeah, how many times do I need to hear Water Technique 6?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
And how we know there's like specifically like 11 water techniques and like 6 lightning techniques. It's like, okay, I get it. It's kind of like if in the first episode of Dragon Ball Z, they're like, hey, there's 5 Super Saiyans. Now enjoy the next 12 years as we get to each one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, also just like halfway through the show, that whole sort of reveal, well, not halfway, is actually much closer to the end, where they reveal essentially like the Elite Four, but it's not 4, there's like 10 of them, like the Elite Demon Hunters or Demon Slayers or whatever.
Oh, the good guys you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like all like dumb pieces of shit who are mean to the main characters.
And each one is going to have like its own arc, and it's just, I can feel the drag already. I mean, like, some of the designs are cool, and like some of their characters seem interesting, but at the same time, like, I know that we're going to have an adventure with like each one probably, and it's just going to like, I don't know, man. I'm just not down.
Yeah, you can just see the layout. I mean, hopefully we're all wrong and we can't see the layout of how it's all going to go, but you can sniff it just like this main character can sniff it, which, oh my god, that's a huge problem that I have with the show. Why does this guy have the best smelling on earth? And there's no explanation for it. He can just smell better than Inuyasha can, and Inuyasha's a dog.
Yeah, I know, it's just like his natural quirk.
Yeah, and then there's the blonde-haired guy who I think you just find out he has really good hearing. Like, he just has like the best hearing ever. It's like, what? So is every demon slayer, do they have just a different heightened sense?
That's what Probably I'm thinking. Not. It's like when they have a full party, is just like everyone gonna be responsible for one sense or something?
Yeah, I hope the guy with the boar mask is like Taste or something.
I actually like Boarman. I'm gonna say Boarman is backed, mostly because I liked the fact that there's a huge turnaround with his character when he gets his mask pulled off for the first time, and you see that he's beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Okay, I just got disconnected for a second, but I think I have the gist of what you guys said. I'm going to say that I also liked Hogman Inosuke. Also, he's voiced by Aaron Yeager. So that's something. Did you guys pick up on that?
That's pretty funny.
No, I didn't. Not at all.
I watched it in Japanese.
He sounds a lot like Aaron Yeager, except he's like doing this weird voice. You know?
I guess that makes sense because he was familiar. I just didn't Google it or anything.
Yeah. No, I had to look it up. But you guys were talking about his senses, or the senses, and I think Hogman has the sense of like touch or something, right? Because like when they're in that forest, he like senses that one of the spider ladies, the mother, is like he's far like away. Bat.
He has like echolocation or something, right?
Yeah, something weird like that. So it is weird that they all have like a special sense. That's like very weird. It's very cheap to me, to be honest.
It's weird and it's unexplained, but also the whole idea of them like having different like elemental techniques is unexplained. Like we see what's his face, the main character, train for 6 months and then another year and a half, so 2 years. But we never see him learn any of these like any of the water techniques, and then he just shows up one day and water's like coming out of his sword. I think that's like in the viewer's mind, like the water isn't actually like present or anything.
Yeah, it's not literal water.
Yeah, but it's still like
of water.
What? Like, did he just learn this? Does his master also like master water, or did he just like develop water techniques by himself? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Also, during that whole thing, like, why did Nezuko just fucking pass out for 2 years in a row? Like, just ever so convenient. Oh, it's your training montage time. I'm going to bed. See ya.
They just like needed her to do something.
Yeah,
I guess.
Pretty
and
silly.
Then they also needed to explain like what she'd be up to while Tanjiro is going on these adventures for the rest of the show. Like, no, she's there. She's just sleeping.
What happens in the show is just convenience for the sake of convenience, or cool things for the sake of looking cool.
Right.
I don't think there's much justification for anything that's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the Hashira, they all have different like powers or whatever. Like one is like the flame Hashira. Like we learned one is the flame Hashira, and we know that Kocho is the insect Hashira. So like that's interesting, I guess. And oh yeah, what's his name? Tomioka is the water Hashira, right? Because like we saw him do water shit like at the beginning. So so I guess that means that I guess like they're all trained in a different one. So that guy who trained Tanjiro, what's his name again? Urokodaki? Urokodaki, yeah. He's like the water master, I guess, and so he trained Tomioka and he trained Tanjiro, so like that's why they both use water.
That's interesting.
Right, yeah.
I guess, yeah. But like there's a bunch of Hashira. So like I wonder, I mean, like I don't know if you guys like, I like looked up characters, so I know what each of them do, but it's like I'm obviously not going to say if we're going to keep watching unless you like want to know, but like it seems like some of them are stupid. That's all funny. I'll say about that.
Wait, talking about stupid things, in episode 24, the main dude is like talking to one of the female people. Sorry, I don't know anybody's name in the show, so this is going to be fun. And he smells the anger on her. He smells that she's angry.
Right. Yeah, Coach.
Oh, is this a butterfly person's like understudy or whatever?
Yeah, some shit like that.
No, not the understudy. You're talking about like the actual Hashira.
Oh, yes, angry. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
She's angry because
her sister right? Like,
died. And she was always like more of a hothead, but now she's just trying to be like happy and stuff like her sister. But like she's actually angry inside.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought that character on its own was cool.
I liked her, actually.
Yeah, like, I like the whole, like, her seeming like a very calm, but, like, very powerful kind of person, and then having this sort of tragic backstory is, like, an interesting concept, but it didn't necessarily sell me on the greater story that she's a part of.
Well, I would say that, like, the one thing I really liked about her is that she doesn't have a sword like everyone else. She has that long thing, and the blade is only right on the end. And it's because she's, like, not, like, physically strong, but she's, like, really smart when it comes to, like, developing, like, poisons and shit. And she's, like, really quick.
Right.
So, like, I liked that. I liked the design of her sword. I was like, ooh, that's cool. So, yeah, I liked her overall. I like the girl who flips a coin. That was sick. No?
Yeah, that was cool too. Again, she's like, I feel like a variant of her master, essentially. Is like also very quiet, also very talented.
Right, yeah.
But just she has a slightly different quirk, and it's that she doesn't speak unless she tosses a coin.
Yeah.
I want to say two different things about the show.
Okay.
One that I like and one that is really dumb, but I also like. So the first one is that people just die brutal deaths in the show. Like when we're in the forest with the spider lady who's like manipulating everybody with webs, she just like snaps a bunch of children's necks.
Which is very cool. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And you like hear the bones crunch and everything. It's pretty fucked up. So that's something that's intensely cool. Something that's very dumb, but it becomes cool is like the stakes of the show, where if the main dude's sister eats any human or attacks any human, he and all his friends need to commit seppuku.
Right, yeah.
Oh my god.
Those stakes, man. It's so funny.
It's pretty funny, but it also kind of guarantees that she's never going to go crazy, which would be like an interesting thing to happen down the line, is to see what would happen.
Yeah, now we know that it's not going to happen. Yeah.
I mean, like, it might to some degree. Like, manga readers are probably rolling their eyes right now, but I mean, it seems like a pretty done deal. It's like, okay, we can't have everybody kill themselves, so no matter what happens, she's probably not going to do it. And even if she does, the consequences won't be nearly that dire.
I'm waiting for the day that I'm scrolling through Crunchyroll, a new episode of the show is uploaded, and I click on it, and the title says the seppuku episode, and I just know what's coming.
I was just gonna say, like, it's funny, like, we have a really, like, niche, probably, like, audience, because we probably piss off a lot of, like, real anime / manga heads. with like our opinions because we don't read manga. Well, I mean Brendan does, but like not of this shit, like of what we're watching currently. So like we're constantly like saying things, and clearly like a lot of viewers will probably be ahead of us in what we know.
Yeah, like
I wonder how many people we piss off an episode.
People probably find our podcast like from the title being like Shonen Chumps, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love shonen anime," and then we're just shitting on My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer and all these other beloved fucking shonen shows, and they're like, "What is this?" Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry. We're trying to be allies, but
it's not our fault.
It ain't easy.
We aren't the target demographic, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. Now, now that we were talking about Nezuko, if she kills anyone, then they all have to commit seppuku. I will say that when that gray-haired asshole was like stabbing Nezuko, I was like legitimately mad. I was like,
that pissed me off,
oh my god,
too.
This guy needs to get ended right now.
I wanted to see some sparks fly, but
Yeah, and I was really, really, really glad to see Tanjiro headbutt him and like knock him down. I thought that was sick.
Right.
And I really would have liked to have seen Tanjiro like cut him or something. Like I know he can't die, but like I would have liked to see him cut him, bro. Don't mess with Nezuko, bro.
Yeah, what a dumb bitch of a character.
That's the most popular sentiment is protect Nezuko at all costs. I think that's the general consensus on her. But like, whatever.
Yeah. Fine, whatever. What's up with Tanjiro's scar? Why do a lot of characters have scars in this show? Or not a lot of characters, but Tanjiro and his dad seem to have the same scar. So like, what does that mean? Because initially I thought, oh, that's a scar. But then if his dad has the same scar, it's like, so what? Is that like a rite of passage or something?
I remember noticing something weird about it. Like I'm not entirely sure, but
I think his scar
during
changed.
the time skip, sorry?
His scar changed, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like I was like, wait, was that always there? Like, why did that just show up out of nowhere? I mean, it probably has some significance that we don't know yet.
Yeah. Yo, no, wait. It was definitely he had a scar since the beginning, but what the scar was changed while he was training.
Right. Yeah. I thought I noticed that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. Before it was kind of like a pale pinkish scar that kind of covered the whole area. It didn't have like a hole of normal skin in it, and then it became that like kind of like dark crimson one where there's like a little patch inside of it that's normal skin. So like,
right.
I don't know what that means. And then also, the big boss of the good guys has like quite the scar. It's like you can see his brain or something, but it's not his brain, but it's just like weird skin.
It's just like the upper part of his face is torched, right? And his eyes are like gone.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's like a burn thing? That makes sense.
I think that's what they're getting at, yeah.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
But his brain being on like surface level is a hilarious idea. Like hair just growing on top of his brain, or being a wig they place on top of the brain. That'd be awesome.
Truly harebrained.
I really like the mask that Tanjiro's master wears. Urokodaki.
Oh, yeah. He's got like a Tengu mask with the long nose.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's pretty sick.
I like that we never see his face.
Yeah, gonna say I did like his robes too.
His robe? Oh yeah, it's like a blue. It's like I don't know
like
if he wears
clouds
different ones.
on it.
Yeah, clouds. It's blue and it has clouds on it. Yeah, that was cool.
I did enjoy the number of outfit changes in this series. It's not like Naruto stuck in his orange jumpsuit for like 150 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the show is asking for a lot of good cosplay to be made. There's an early episode where like Tanjiro's getting dressed in his new outfit, and his master, like there's like all these cool action shots of Tanjiro putting on each piece of clothing, and then it kind of just zooms out really quick, and his master's right there watching him, and he's like, "You done getting dressed yet?" But like we know he's done getting dressed. We just saw it. Why would you ask? You've been staring at him for this whole time. Right. It's weird.
I'm wondering about Miss Tamayo, and I wonder about how many other people know about her, because she's also a demon that's kind of working to, like, for the good guys, like against Kibutsuji. But like,
Right.
This is the doctor.
yeah, it's like, is anyone else aware of her other than Tanjiro and like her lame sidekick? Because I feel like she should be in touch with everyone else.
I mean, I'm assuming the big boss of the good guys.
Yeah, hopefully. Because I feel like if the Hashira know, they'll just kill her.
It's pretty crazy that we find out that Jack White can just create any demon he wants, and he's the only person who can create demons. But then, like, literally 30 seconds later, we find out that this woman can also create demons.
Right, yeah. Yeah, what was up with that?
Yeah, it's pretty strange.
It's just a weird way to undercut his power. And
what does that actually...
her power.
Yeah. Yeah, what does that exactly mean then? Can any demon just create more demons and he can only create like the really powerful ones? Or is it just Tamayo and him who have these powers?
I think that's it. Or at least that's what we're supposed to believe right now. Just him and her can create these things, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the entire existence of her character is kind of like a video game checkpoint. Like it just feels so video gamey. It's kind of like in like Bloodborne or like Dark Souls, like you go back to your hub and then you talk to the doll or whatever to power you up. It's like Tanjiro is going to go out, have an adventure, come back, bring her the blood of like these demons so that she can eventually reach the end goal of curing Nezuko.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I hope we see her appear more. It'd be cool to see her again, but you're right. It could easily be that. It's funny though that they like remind you of who she is. Like there's a point like later on in the series where Tanjiro says like, "Oh, I better collect this blood so I can send her to Miss Tamayo."
Right, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that side quest."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs to collect the blood of 12 different extremely evil people. But then aren't there times where we think that he's fighting these evil people, but then we find out that they don't actually count in the 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know, man.
So there's like a lower 5 and then there's the upper 5 or something? Or no, wait, no, the number equals 12. So is it lower 6? I feel like they were saying lower 5 though.
Yeah, maybe there's a top 7.
It's top 7. Actually,
or like a mid 4.
Yo, I will say that scene where Kibutsuji is like killing all those demons was pretty cool. Because like that world was really cool. It was like an MC Escher painting, you know? It was like all those like stairs and shit.
Yeah, it's some weird like really realm. Cool. Yeah. That was a cool area.
Yeah, I was quite intrigued there. Oh yeah, so before we were talking a bit about like some of how cool the fight sequences were, and one thing I also wanted to mention that I really liked was when Inosuke was fighting like the giant father spider guy, and like he couldn't cut through his arm, so then he used one sword to start cutting, and then he started wailing on that sword with his other sword to like really cut through. It was really brutal and it was super sick. So I like that too, because like it wasn't like smooth, really cool fighting, but it was just kind of like brutal, like by any means necessary, because he's like a new demon slayer. But then it got immediately lame, because then in his internal monologue, he was like reflecting on how cool it was that he was doing this. Yeah. And it was Eren Yeager bragging. It was just like, oh man, this is sick.
For some reason, I don't remember that, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I do also remember being impressed by a lot of the fight scenes, but yeah, again, with the internal monologues and stuff, sometimes the pacing felt kind of weird. I was like, how long is this one move taking?
Right, yeah. Because sometimes Chandra is like flying through the air, and he's just like flying at them for so long during his internal monologue.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, I guess there's some things I want to mention that I wrote down in my notes. Just like, I don't know, interesting things that I noticed. Number 1, Tanjiro just loves patting children on the head since like episode 1. Is that like a thing? Is that like a Japanese thing, or is that just a this show thing? What's up with that?
Brennan, our Japanese expert?
I mean, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, Brendan is not aware. Our resident Japanese expert is not aware. Okay, next, were you guys surprised when Tanjiro and his sister just like enter a full like living, breathing city?
Yeah.
Like, not like this is recent. The show is like what? I don't know.
Right. Like it
1800s,
probably
1900s.
Yeah,
Actually,
it probably takes place in like
right?
yeah, it probably takes place in like the late 1800s, I'm guessing, based on the technology.
Close. This is an interesting topic because I was very confused at the beginning as to what the time period was for this show. Like I was like, is this just a fantasy world where they have their own rules, like some kind of Edo era steampunk type shit? Or like what's going on with that? Because I noticed that there were telephone wires even in like the small village, and I was like, what? Like, is this like feudal or like what's going on here? Do they have electricity? And then I think at some point someone mentioned it was the Taisho era, which is like 1912 to 1926, which makes sense now.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Ooh, very cool. Taking place in the same era as Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh man, what a fucking completely different caliber show.
Any chance to bring up FMA though? Yeah.
That's funny.
We need it.
I hope there's an Alphonse
Also,
cameo.
that show was about one brother trying to save his other brother.
Oh my god, see how fucking compelling it could be? It's
Right.
all in the execution.
That is very unfair though.
You're right. You know, I called this plotline stupid. Yeah, the inherent plotline is not stupid, I guess. It's just like maybe how this show tackles it. Also, Alphonse wasn't some sort of weird fetishism thing where like, oh, he can grow any size I want him to, and I keep him inside the box.
Yeah.
Although Alphonse was in a box for a couple episodes. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, he didn't have arms or legs. He's just being carted around.
You know what? Now that you word it that way, it is fetishism. Oh yeah, there was that one fight scene where Tanjiro's fighting that demon who throws balls at him, and he's like flying around in the air being thrown around by red arrows. It just looks like he's fighting a Microsoft PowerPoint document. Like it's so silly.
He's fighting the stock market.
Yeah, the ups and downs.
That's true, but I would say that it was more, I don't know, it was like more unique than just like anything. Like it kind of looks silly, but I was like, all right, I was having it.
Yeah, like I don't want to complain too much about it just because, I think the most redeeming part of this entire show was every fight encounter. Like, there were so many cool moments. Like, I just wrote, like, half of my notes were just writing down cool moments from the fights. Like, I think at one point, not that specific fight, but Nezuko kicks a demon's head off. Like, kicks it off like a fucking soccer ball.
Yo, that was sick. That was sick.
And then, not to mention, like, the final fight, which we didn't really talk about with, like, little spider demon man. But I guess we'll get to that. But yeah, like, I thought, like, the Tamari demon and the guy with the arrows, it was interesting and it was unique. I'll give it that for sure. And it was polished, and like every time she threw the ball, like the way it hit, like really felt like there was serious impact there, like all the environmental damage it did, like the trail it left behind it when she threw it and stuff. It's like it was just very cool. But like what pulls me out of all of that coolness is how literally every time a demon dies, we have to have like a full flashback and get their entire life story. And it's like, oh my God, every demon is so tragic. Can you believe it? Cry every time. Like, oh my God, shut up, dude. Shut up. Let some of these demons just be demons.
They spent a lot of time trying to redeem a bunch of demons. It's like, I get it. Like a lot of these people, they were just regular people and then they got like fucked, bro. And then they're not trying to be evil, but they just became demons. So like, what could they do?
It just felt so melodramatic and so heavy-handed every single time it happened. And it's like you just expect it eventually. It's like, oh, is he going in for the killing blow? I guess it's time for a monologue.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe the show does have a lot in common with Attack on Titan.
Sean slowly realizes that he loves this show.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. When the yellow crybaby dude and Tanjiro enter that weird shifting house that shifts every time the guy hits the drum.
Yo, actually,
that's a very cool
I
setting.
like that a lot. That was super sick.
100%.
Yeah,
that's
it
some video game
totally
shit.
is.
That's some video game.
It's a roguelite, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, in episode 18, the main guy breaks his sword on a web, and I was like, I did not expect for somebody to get a cool
Right,
weapon and then
yeah.
it break like
It
so
just made me
soon in a
devalue the
series.
weapon.
Because he has a cool like, yeah, he has a cool like teal sword at the beginning of the show, and then it gets replaced with his new black katana. And then at the end, I don't think we ever get to see the new sword that gets delivered to him.
I
don't know
think
if
it
it's
is.
still
I
black or
imagine
whatever.
it would
I
be,
don't know.
but that's
Who
interesting
knows?
that you consider that it might not be. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like for the coolness of like just cool anime shit going on, it'd be dumb if it was
Right.
black. It probably is black, but yeah.
I actually didn't like the fact that it was black. Like everyone gets a cool color and it means for cool animation. Like the black sword doesn't look that pretty. It's very edgy, but like it just means for like a less colorful scene, I guess, when he's fighting.
Yeah, I like the blue
me
sword
too.
better.
But I do like Inosuke's sword. Like I like that he made it into like a serrated blade.
Yeah, that was
cool.
actually pretty funny. I also like how the sword master freaks out when he sees him like deliberately chipping it.
Destroy it. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of sick.
Oh yeah. In episode 20, the badass guy from the second episode of the show comes back and he uses water form 11. And I think up to this point,
Yeah.
Tanjiro just thought there was 10 forms. And so there's a new form and it's called still water. And it was pretty badass because it was just like serenity.
Ooh-wee.
But he's like
Yeah,
killing
that's pretty
somebody
Yeah,
with
that
it.
was cool.
It was kind of cool.
I remember that.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I thought it was really funny when the boar guy gets like his throat crushed, so then his voice becomes really deep,
Yeah, right.
which is a contrast to his face.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume that that'll just turn to normal though again, right? Oh wait, it already did. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And in that same episode, Tanjiro says that he wants his sister to become human again, so that she doesn't have to live a lonely existence after he's dead.
I liked that a lot. Yeah, I was going to bring that up too actually.
Like, is that selfish or is that not? I think there's an
Right.
argument to be made there.
Right, yeah. Or he could go the opposite route and become a demon also, so they could just be immortal together.
Yeah, and then they'd have no worries. Like,
Yeah.
that's the perfect life, I think.
But no. Please die with me, little sis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the episode after that, the yellow crybaby guy has short limbs, and he has them for a while.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny actually. I'm glad he didn't heal right away.
Yeah, that's some Eren Yeager type shit.
Like I kind of liked their couple episodes stretch where they're all just kind of rehabilitating and stuff, and they have this like funny routine with the butterfly ladies junior or whatever. Those are okay. I like the jokes there, the shtick there.
Right, yeah, it was interesting. And yeah, I guess it did remind me of Attack on Titan. With Eren like spending 6 episodes with his arms growing back and shit.
Right.
It's very weird. Do you guys think that David Blaine would be like the sickest one of these demon hunters because he can just control his breathing to a T?
Oh my.
Yeah, that also makes him the perfect JoJo character.
Wait, does it? Do they do that in JoJo?
The breathing techniques, man.
Do they?
Come on.
I don't remember that. I only watched 9 episodes of JoJo, that first arc, and then I didn't want to watch any more of it. Remember that time we watched it and then we did it in half an hour because like we wanted to run through it?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Disappointed so many people. People were so sad.
They were sad about what?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like Phantom Blood is the shittiest arc. You guys should give it like 20 more episodes. It gets really, really good. We promise.
Guys, I'm getting older. I don't know.
If we do any more arcs, we should always cover them in 30 minutes with the timer going down.
Yeah. I think that's the only way to go.
Okay, the last thing I want to say about the show in general, is that it just ends on a tease, and not necessarily a tease for season 2 or like, oh, the show will continue on in the future, but it's a tease for a movie.
Right, yeah. That's what the next arc is. They're doing the entire arc in a film.
Oh.
And is that movie out yet?
No, it is not out yet.
Wait, I'm kind of down for that if that saves time. When is it out?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, it just says 2020.
Wait, guys, I'm kind of down for that though. That can just like save us some time, you know? Like maybe they'll go through a bunch of cool aspects of the show, and then I just like the idea of them switching mediums. Like, they just do a show, and then they do a movie for the next arc, and then they go back to show. That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I feel like the amount of resources that they'll be able to put into this would make it like a very polished movie, and I would definitely be interested in watching that.
That's funny, because now that we're talking about like what the next arc was, I was going to say like it sounds like it's going to be very like Snowpiercer,
Right.
and I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. And now it turns out it's a movie, so like that's
it is Snowpiercer.
It's just going to be Snowpiercer. So hey, cool. I will happily watch that.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's the thing is, it's like, again, going back to my first sentence, I did enjoy this while I was watching it because it was like very much just a popcorn anime. Like, you don't really have to think about it too hard. You just kind of kick back, watch a cool fight, and then just be like, yeah, neat, edgy sword boys, very cool. And like, that being said, like, even though it's not life changing, I would watch the next movie for that very same reason. It's like, it's gonna look great and it's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be high art by any means, but yeah, I might like it, so I'd be down.
Yeah, I agree. I'm down to watch it, podcast it. Why not?
Yeah.
All right, and with that, I guess we've been the Shonen Chumps.
Sean, we still are the Shonen Chumps.
And we will always be the Shonen Chumps.
Never forget that you can reach us at shonenchumps@gmail.com or tweet at us at shonenchumps.
Try not to be too angry.
And if you want to listen to us, how could we do that?
You know what? I'm thinking maybe YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, etc., not Tidal.
Spotify?
Didn't I say that?
Oh, maybe you did.
Maybe. I forget. Listeners, let us know if I said it.
Remember that we love you and appreciate you listening, and that these are just our opinions. Please don't be too upset that we didn't like the show that much.
Yeah. Dude, definitely, we're not above the show.
It definitely, like, I want to see more still, so that's something.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
Today I just started watching the reboot of Digimon Adventure, so I'm not above anything.
Oh, yeah, Sean, I want to ask you about that. Dude, tell us all about it.
My initial impressions of episode 1 is that the art style is amazing. The animation is very decent. I didn't see any cut corners necessarily. It's cool. It's a true reboot. So like, it's set in 2020. Everybody has a smartphone. The internet, it's funny, it starts off with a shot of what the internet looked like on Windows like 95 when you're connecting to dial-up, and then it's like the web, and then it quickly switches to what like the internet looks like now on like the modern smartphone and using Wi-Fi. It's very cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. It looks like the story is very different. Because in the original, they're going to a summer camp and they're on the beach and they get like washed away to the digital world. This one, they're packing for summer camp, but then them going doesn't actually end up happening, at least not yet. So I'm intrigued. Cool. It's probably not going to be very good, but I'm very intrigued. I've got too much nostalgia to let it go.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to watch it as well.
What if this is peak shonen?
Honestly, like, even if this is slightly worse than the other shonen shows we're watching, the nostalgia is enough to tip it over and make it the only one that I'm willing to watch.
Nice. I'm probably also going to check this out.
Yeah. Hey, only one episode for now.
And if you at home want to watch it as well and let us know what you think, we would love to hear it. And let us know what you think about our whack opinions on Demon Slayer.
Hell yeah. I mean, definitely like Demon Slayer, but like, you know, we got to bring up the negative aspects of it so that we have something funny to talk about.
Yeah. We do praise a lot of other shit that we review.
Yeah. We are a necessary evil.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So thanks for listening. We will talk to you soon, sooner than you think, unless you've been following Twitter and then you know that we're planning to talk to you really soon.
Yeah, this is our third remote podcast in a row, and we have more to come. Hope you're enjoying it so far.
See ya.
See ya, Space Cowboy.
Woo! Bye.